Um. Oh, this is also what I wanted to put up there. So Taylor Swift. This is really interesting. Taylor Swift has sold 1.5 million copies first week. This is pretty good actually. Um, and this is a feat. I talked to a lot of industry insiders about this, and we should probably break it down. Taylor Swift Midnight's album will end up being I believe, number 4 or number 5 most streamed album of all time, at least on Spotify, at least in a week. Despite it selling 1.54 million copies first week, it is not the highest streamed album. And the reason why it sold 1.54 copies first week, Taylor Swift is doing what I believe is going to change the game. I believe after this year, this whole era that Beyonce ushered in of pop-up releases is fucking over. You know, when Drake pops up and says, I'm dropping an album next week, it's over. Granted, could he still do it? Could other artists still do it? Yes. But people like Taylor Swift are going to start putting these artists to shame, because the reason why Taylor Swift is selling 1.54 million copies first week, she's promoting her shit 6 months before. Nowadays, niggas doing lack of promo. A lot of these rappers are selling 50K, 20K, 30K. Taylor Swift, and if you're wondering how does she sell 1.54 if she don't even have the most streamed album of all time, well, what she did was she bundled vinyls with her ticket sales for her tour. Here's also the thing. In the rap community, because everyone was finessing, and most of sales usually is finessing, people have adopted to think that bundling is dead. Bundling isn't dead. The rules when it came to bundling has allowed Taylor Swift to do what she did. Right? Also, here's the thing too. Taylor has done a great job of making an experience for her audience. Okay? She has like 20 different versions of this vinyl CD. Like, not vinyl CD, just this vinyl, right? On the vinyl version, there's certain songs that you can't get on the digital version, and on the digital version, there's songs that's not on the vinyl version. She's made it where you have to stream it and buy it. It's not just the same music. But the way she did it, and you see artists in rap, they're so scared to try to sell something and sell actually music. So what most people were doing was, oh, I'll sell you this V-Lone shirt, right? I'll sell you this V-Lone shirt, and we'll act like you bought an album. Billboard rewrote the rules. They basically disqualified all that shit. Okay? The new rules say whatever you're selling has to ship the same week. A person could only buy a certain amount of copies, which means they can't mass buy. Like, they changed the rules where essentially you have to promote actual music to get these sales. So what Taylor did was she sold a vinyl version. If you bought the vinyl version, you had early access to her tour tickets. It was incentivizing. It's like a new way of bundling. So she sold 700,000 tickets, 700,000 vinyl, because it allowed her fans to get access to buy her tour tickets early. Streaming, she did 400,000, which is still pretty good. It would have been one of the top 3 releases regardless if she didn't sell shit. She also sold 300,000 CDs, cassettes, digital actual albums where people would have to just buy it, not stream it. I talked to a lot of people, and they believe that the era that Beyonce ushered in with Lemonade of, oh, I just have an album that's dropping, and everybody was taking just advantage of the streaming era, that's about to change, and people like Taylor Swift are changing it. Okay? So, I know a lot of people who care about sales are wondering how the fuck did Taylor do that? And I had even more qualitative conversations because I said, yo, why don't rappers drop vinyls? And if they do drop vinyls, they'll drop it later. They'll drop a vinyl later. They won't drop it when the album comes out. They'll drop it like maybe 2 months later. And this was the response and answer I got, which now that I think about it makes perfect sense. The reason why Drake doesn't do shit like this is because for you to press up 700,000 vinyl, remember, it's only going to count. You got to ship them out the first week. Back in the day when niggas ordered V-Lone shirts and they were still waiting on them for 6 months later, Billboard realized it's a finesse. It's like niggas basically using pre-order for clothes and counting as album sales. Now, all your bundles have to go out and has to be in stock that week. Vinyl takes a while to press up. Taylor Swift submits her album 6 months before. These days, rappers submit their albums literally a couple days before. For example, Youngboy will send his album in to the label. They'll send it in Wednesday. It drops Friday. The reason why that started to happen is because people realize that leaks. Remember when music leaking was a real thing? Remember when niggas used to get access to someone's album 2 whole weeks or 3 whole weeks before it ever came out? People realize the way to avoid that is to keep the music out of the hands of the labels. Just by the mere structure of a label and how big it is with so many moving parts, there's going to be some unhappy employee or somebody who has to send music to somewhere that there's going to be a leak somewhere. So one of the reasons I was told was like, well, Drake can't do what Taylor Swift did. Or any big artist can't do what Taylor Swift did because they would have to submit their music 6 months before. You submit your music 6 months before, your shit's getting leaked. Now, granted, if Taylor Swift's music get leaked, she's still selling 1.54 million copies first week. If whatever rapper's music get leaked, it's not going to sell the same. Do you get what I mean? So I said leaks are just promos. They're on purpose 90% of the time. Some. A lot of times, I ain't gonna lie, niggas is fumble the bag with the leaks. Yo, is Jake Paul fighting today?